No, I'm on day 18 of this. Day 18 of just congestion. If I don't take something, that's it. So I've process of elimination, and I keep going outside. So like I drank coffee on my patio. I woke up, I was better than this, and I drank coffee on the patio. Okay, nature versus Skila. Skyla's gonna win. All right, let's take our feet out to the width of your pelvis bones. Roll the shoulders down and back. Keeping the shoulders down and back, we're bending the elbows and bringing them lightly onto the belly and chest. So making sure that we're able to keep the shoulders back while we bend the elbows. This is working on stabilizing an energy in the shoulders, stabilizing the muscles in the back of the heart, stabilizing the muscles in the neck, head, and jaw. As we lightly keep the hands placed on the belly and heart, begin to shape your breath into two parts. As we inhale, feeling as if the belly pushes out, build the breath up to the chest, lift through the heart and collarbones just a little bit. On the exhale, relax the collarbones and heart, then soften the stomach and pull the belly button in. We're going to keep that rhythm a few more times. Even though we've dissected this into two parts, calling it a two-part breath, in yoga, it is formally known as a three-part breath. The first part being in the belly, second passes through the center ribs, the third is at the heart. And as we exhale, we relax the heart, thinking about pulling the ribs in and then pulling the stomach in. Oftentimes, it can be a little challenging at first to get the rib part of it. So to make it a little more user-friendly, we just take out the ribs and focus on your belly and your heart. Exhale, you relax the heart, relax the belly. Inhale, fill the belly, fill up through the heart. And then once you get that belly and heart area clearly refined with the breath, then maybe start to think what happens in between the two. So we breathe into the belly. As the breath builds, we try to pause and maybe push your side ribs out, flare them out like a fish flaring gills, and then slowly lift up through the chest. Exhale, relax your heart, soften the ribs, and pull the stomach in. This practice, pranayama, this management or shaping of the breath, can be meditative in nature, maybe simply by focusing on filling the lungs, filling bottom to top, empty top to bottom. In cases where your mind might have a little extra chatter, you can begin to count the breath. And sometimes this helps to alleviate excess chatter in the mind. If you want to count it, you would begin inhaling, counting 1, 2, 3, as we lift through the heart. Pause, exhale, 3, 2, and 1, softening the belly. That count could be faster or slower. If at any point you notice your mind wandering, bring it back to the breath. Bring it back to that first inhale and that first count of 1. Notice where the breath, all on its own, wants to reside. If we think about the body as a home and the breath, it's this visitor in, out of the body, of the temple. Notice where the breath settles. Notice where it wants to go. Let it kind of settle or roam in any natural and authentic way. Letting go of any judgment of the breath. letting go of any competition with our bodies, any past versions of self, any expectations of the physical form, anything that we were able to do yesterday or this morning that maybe is not going to be accessible in class today. Letting go of judgment, expectation, and competition with ourselves and others. When you're ready, relax your hands. Let's find our yoga block, hinging deeply from the knees and the hips. Let's take our block into the hands, stepping to the top of our mat, seeing that the feet are open to the width of the pelvis and the hips. We can press into the block with our elbows flared out. This is going to give a very unique angle on the wrist, which is completely opposite from things we do in everyday life. If it hurts, if you're noticing any pain at all, wrists can be very strong, but they're also very delicate creatures. So we want to respect that. If it hurts, pull your elbows down, or maybe even hold the block with the wrist joint so it's completely neutral. There's no advanced or beginner version with holding the block. It's about finding what works with your body. From wherever we are, let's keep the block down at the chest with the knees soft. Step your left foot back. Allow the foot to turn out in any natural way. We're not going to get nitpicky with it. Let's bend the right knee. Inhaling, straightening the right knee, straightening our arms, looking up towards the sky. Exhale, drawing the block down. We bend our front knee and step center. Inhaling, right foot back, bent knee, straightening the leg, lifting up. Exhale, pulling down, bending the knee, and stepping forward. We're keeping this rhythm. This is a familiar pattern for those of us who've been following along with me for some time in classes. This is a familiar flow we've done just to help us maybe have a little refresher or get more familiar with the movement. We can refine the way we step back. Again, I'm not getting nitpicky with it, but you could experiment with a little bit of refining. So when you step back, it's toe to heel, slowly gliding through that knee joint. And then as we bend the knee, we lift up from the heel and push off the toe to recenter our foundation. Toe to heel, working with the arches of the feet, shifting forward, yielding up heel to toe. So we are coordinating the mechanics of that front knee with the back ankle and heel, which really is essential to walking every day. There's functional movement in this. Remember to keep the knees soft. For a lot of us, especially women, it's really common for us to be able to lock out that front knee. So keep it soft. Anytime we lock out the knee joint, it could be compromising not just the bone, cartilage, but also overall flow of blood pressure, flow of lymphatic fluid. And then, as you know, in psychosomatic connections, when you lock your knees out, it could mean that you're just being stubborn. And most people go, no, I'm just flexible. I'm not stubborn, just really flexible. That face for you. All right, a couple more. Option to close the eyes. So closing the eyes usually does create a little bit more of a balanced challenge. We don't have to stand on one leg or do any other crazy contorted poses to work on balance. Closing the eyes is enough to challenge our bodies. Let's do at least one more on each side. Remembering there's absolutely no rush with this. Oh yes, and don't forget to breathe. Don't forget to breathe. Let's meet at the top of our mat with our feet open to the width of the hips, placing the block between the knees and thighs. Anyone else love these little squishy foam blocks? These white ones are way better than the ones in the other yoga room. All right, let's take a look at our feet, seeing that the edges of the feet are lined up with the edges of our mat. Shifting forward and back, spread out the toes, Spread out the fingers. Gloria, show us how it's done. Do y'all know where that joke comes from? It's not an inside joke. Gloria said every time I would cue spread out your toes, her fingers automatically do the same thing. It's like they're connected. One without the other. Every time you say spread your toes, I just go. Awesome. Okay, so with our toes spread like a duck, fingers open, starfish hand, let's inhale, sweep the arms back and around, reaching up as if you're holding onto a bowling ball. So there's that sensation of a little bit of pressure pressing down the shoulders, keeping the shoulders down, holding onto balloons, a sensation of lightening up through the fingertips. We can look up, even if just for a fraction of a moment, helping us to maintain mobility in the neck. One more big inhale, extended mountain. Exhale, sweep the arms back and around. Let's take the palms in front of our body, pulling the shoulder blades back. We're bending our knees and sitting back into chair pose. Inhale, sweeping the arms overhead again. Extended mountain, finding that dynamic tension, both pressing down and reaching up. Knees are soft. Find the breath. Exhale, swan dive, hands to the thighs. Head might stay above the heart, or walk the hands down and hang loose like a rag doll. The lower we go with the head, chances are the more it's going to affect blood pressure, and that could be high or low blood pressure. So usually hands on the thighs is going to be the safest place. Wherever we are with this, let's shake our heads. Shake them yes, turn them left and right. Try at least 3 exhales, loosen the jaw, and let's loosen the back. Keeping the knees soft. One more big exhale, making it audible, so at least you can hear your own breath. Let's walk the hands up to the shins and into the thighs, flattening through the back from neutral spine, press into your feet. Inhaling, arms overhead, extended mountain. Let's lace our fingers together. Notice if you have left thumb over right or right thumb over left, because in a moment, we're going to change it to change the dominant. From wherever you are, invert the palms. Notice how your shoulders are feeling today. They are curious little fickle creatures sometimes. You can press forward. The more we straighten our arms, the more sensation might build in the shoulder or rotator cuff. You could also take the arms up, overhead, maybe push it up into a palm gesture. And again, notice if there are any sensations at all, sensations of pain, discomfort, burning, electricity, numbness, and tingling, then you bend your elbows and put them down. From here, push hard into the outer blade of your right foot. Keep a little bend in the elbows. Lift your right armpit up, right shoulder up towards the ear. We're taking a tiny lean over to the left while we press down into the outer blade of the right foot, opening up the liver, opening up the side of the belly. We can look up towards the ceiling, not only moving against gravity, this is challenging for the neck, but energetically, it can really stimulate your mind. So if you're looking to calm the mind and the body today, look over to the left instead. Not only working with gravity to soften your neck, but also calming to the mind. Breathe into your upper right lung. Big inhale. Exhale in place. Inhale, bring it back to center. Exhale, relax the hands. Inhaling, sweeping both arms overhead. Finding those dynamic opposing energies. Shoulders press down while we reach up. That's Hatha Yoga. Unification of opposing energies. Shifting forward and back a few times. If you want, hold your extended mountain with the heels lifted. Gentle pressure into the yoga block, staying kind on the knee joints. Either looking down, calming to the nervous system, straight ahead, looking out over the horizon. That's if you don't know if you want to be up or down, or you don't know where you are today. Look straight ahead. You can look up, more stimulating to the nervous system. One more big inhale, reach. Exhale, drop the heels, swan dive, hands to the thighs. Deepen the bend in the knees, flip the hips back. The more we bend our knees, the more we might have access to stretching through your spine and back. Either hold it there or walk the hands down. Once we find a comfortable position for the body and blood pressure, shake the head yes, and turn the head left and right. 3 big exhales. Big inhale, out from the throat, big sigh of relief. 2 more. Let's slide our hands up onto the thighs. From a flat back, reverse swan dive. Exhale, sweep the arms back and around. Chair pose, Utkatasana. Inhaling, arms overhead again. Placing the fingers, changing out the dominant. So if you had left over right, now it's right over left. Does it feel weird? I know. We are such creatures of habit, right? All right. So does it hurt? Just feels weird, right? So yoga teaches us just because something feels strange, you don't have to stop doing it. It's not bad. Push away. Option to take it up. It's just so weird. Press into the outer blade of your left foot. Lean over to the right. Gentle lean. Gentler than leaning tower of Pisa lean. Gentle lean. Y'all, is anybody gonna live vicariously through Terry?
Yes.
Going to Italy for almost a full month.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. Just send me pictures of food. I mean, I will look at the sites, but I mean, every picture, I'm like, where's the food? Pull up from your left armpit. Remember, you can look up. Anytime we look up, this is usually more stimulating for your brain or your nervous system. It's an optic nerve manipulation thing. Anytime we look towards the horizon, it's kind of like just evening things out. Anytime we look towards the earth, especially working with gravity, it's considered a little more calming to the nervous system. When you're ready, let's bring it up. Big inhale, reach. And then exhale, swan dive, hands onto the thighs. Flip the hips back. Let's grab our block and place it down on the mat just in front of us. We might want to use it. Inhaling both arms up and overhead. Let's step our left foot back and get a little nitpicky with it. Right, left foot. From here with our right knee bent, we're lifting our left heel and swiveling the heel back. Notice what happens to your left hip when you turn the left heel back. There is that really intimate connection where the leg bone, the femur, is knitted up into your hip and pelvis. That's why we're rotating the foot, to protect the hip and pelvis muscles and bones. From here, big inhale, reach. When you're ready, exhale. Inhale, sweep it back. Bend the elbows and take the knuckles to your low back gently. We could lace the fingers together just like we did in front of the body. You could do the same thing in front and back of the body. Try to remember which is dominant. What I like to do is if my left leg is back, I put my left thumb on top of my right thumb just to help me remember to switch it out. From here, roll the shoulders back. Inhale, lift through the heart. Chest expansion with that Warrior One foundation. 2 more big inhales. Exhale, lift the ribs. Use the expansion of the lung to strengthen and support the middle spine. 1 more big inhale. Exhale, come forward, leading with the heart. Imagine you're trying to pull your ribs, stretch them out and over that right leg. Keeping the elbows bent or straightening out the arms. So maybe the hands move out over the tailbone. From here, we can straighten our right leg, transitioning into pyramid pose, Padmasana. Big inhale, lift the heart a little bit. Check in with your knees, nice and soft. Why? Because we're open to change. Or you can just say, I'm not stubborn. I'm not stuck. All right, flip the hips back a little bit more. And now lower the belly towards the thigh. Remembering that we can pause at any time. We're moving slow so that we give ourselves time to interpret any small sensations. And sometimes those sensations take time to travel from the body to planes of consciousness for us. Knowing how we feel can take time. Big inhale, lift the heart a little bit. Exhale, relax your chin, relax your chest, relax your head. Shake the head yes, and turn the head left and right. Let the hands go. Hands can come down to the shin, to the thigh. Maybe they touch the floor. Maybe we find our block, which is directly in front of us, and we can put both hands down onto that block. You can keep the elbows bent and the spine soft, or press into your block to create a flat back. Practice a heavy exhale here. Keep pressing back into the left heel. Keep pushing down into the ball of the left foot. Wiggle the toes. One more big exhale. Let's keep the block down where it is. Let's walk our hands up onto our right thigh. From a flat back, we can reverse swan dive with that right knee bent. Finding warrior one. Tuning into a little bit of muscle memory. Let's get nitpicky with it. Lower the head enough so that an egg can roll off your head. Shoulders press down while the fingertips are light. We shift forward and pull back. Push down and back into the right heel, to the left heel. Push forward and down into your right foot. Option to close the eyes. The whole body fully engaged dynamically in the expression of warrior one. Big inhale. Exhale, let the hands sweep back and down. Relax. Let's step forward. Feet are open to the width of the pelvis bones. Inhaling the arms straight up overhead. Stepping our right foot back this time. Refining the foundation so that we line up our pelvis and hips. As we bend our left knee, we begin to peel up that back heel and swivel it back. We practiced that little peel up, peel the toe. That was in the warm-up. With the hips squared, keeping that left knee bent, right leg is straight, pressing that heel down. Good morning, calf muscles. Good morning. From here, let's sweep our arms back. And again, remembering left over right, right over left. If my right leg is back, I'm putting my right thumb over my left. Does it feel strange? For most people it does. Rolling the shoulders back. Remember, you can always keep the knuckles by the low back, kinder on the rotator cuff. Inhale into the heart. Exhale, the ribs drop. Two more, inhale, smile with the inhale, because every time we breathe in, that means we're still willing to live. Big inhale, smile. Exhale, inhale, open. Exhale, come forward just a little bit. Pause, check in with both knees. Begin to straighten the left leg a little more without locking out. Lean forward a little bit and keep pressing back into the right heel and into the ball of the right foot. Wiggle your toes. And I don't know, Gloria, when you wiggle your toes, do you automatically wiggle your fingers? They're that intimately connected. All right, inhale, lift. Exhale, option to lower down a little more. And again, we want to move nice and slow. Nice and slow, because no one ever said I moved so slow with so much awareness in yoga that I got hurt, right? So moving slow so that there's plenty of time for us to interpret different sensations and different feelings the body might reveal
with subtle shifts, and then we can choose how to respond to those shifts. As we say in yoga, shifts happen. Shifts happen. Exhale, 3 big exhales from the throat. Relax the head. Make sure that you're not looking forward. Sometimes that's really hard if you wear glasses or if there's a fear of falling. Hang the head loose. Relax the head and neck. Let's all release our hands down. The hands might prop up the spine on the thigh, the shin. It could be a combination of thigh and shin support. Or maybe the hands go straight down onto our yoga block. And again, you could press straight down into that block and straighten the arms. This will create a flatter back if that's what you're going for. Or bend your elbows and allow the spine to create a soft C shape. And this will sort of like, cradle and support the belly while you open the kidneys and the adrenal glands. Big exhales. Every forward fold is a big opportunity to let go with a big exhale. Big sigh of relief. When you're ready, bend the left knee. Block stays on the floor. Let's walk our hands to the thigh. With a flat, neutral back, reverse swan dive. Refining our warrior one. Shoulders press down. Fingertips are light. Shifting forward, pulling back. Right heel is down and back. Front foot down, pressing forward. Sometimes people teach the pose as if you're trying to pull your feet together. And you can try that and see if that feels better for you today. So you can imagine you're gonna plant your left heel into the ground. And then you're gonna try to pull your foot back, but you don't move it. Same thing goes with the right foot. You're planting the foot and you're acting like you wanna step forward, but your foot is super glued to the floor. There's 2 ways to work with it. These are manipulating theories of expansion and contraction to see what affects your nervous system. One more big inhale. Exhale, hands come down. Relax the legs and step forward. Shake off the knees. You need to get down on the floor. You've been standing for too long. Anyone?
Yes.
Want to get down on the floor? Okay, I do. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, swan dive. Our block is here to support the transition. We could always take one foot back, even a little bit at an angle is fine, bending both knees. Other foot comes back, sweep it around. Go ahead and lift the hips a little bit, or roll up the back of the mat, so we could use a blanket, or a little roll on the back of the mat when you come to seated. Let's practice seated forward fold, also known as seated stack. Uttanasana. Oh no, Paschimottanasana. This one. Your legs can stay out. For those of us who are coming to class concerned about the sciatic nerve, about your SI joint, if you're concerned even about your pelvis stability or sacrum, low back stability, then I recommend using the block between the knees. This way we keep the muscles engaged that run up the midline of the body and connect to your spine. Let's pull our toes towards our hips, so we're creating a really flat foot. And now press forward just a tiny bit with the ball of the foot. So it looks like a Barbie toe. Have you ever seen Barbie's foot? It's not natural. I mean, it's not ballerina Barbie. It's not like this. It's really dynamic all the time. I bet she has the worst tender fasciitis ever. All right, so this is just working with the arches of the feet without imposing pressure of standing. Let's inhale the arms overhead. Remember those opposing energies in warrior one. Shoulders down, fingertips lift, act surprised. 1, 2, 3. Good, nice little engagement of those center core muscles. On the next exhale, arms come down. Just for today, turn your hands back. Ooh, Skila, let's go. All right, you can reach back, but there's no pressure in your hands. There's no pressure. So we're keeping the chest open, lifting up. Remember cow pose when you do this. Lift the ribs, move, push your hips back. Inhale, and then exhale. That was like a bougie cow, right? Move. Relax your head and neck. You're probably not gonna come forward as much with your hands behind you. You know why? Because we're not faking out the stretch using the shoulders, going like this, right? We're not stressing our necks. We're truly wanting to get into the sides of the spine, creating like a healthy traction in the spine. Chin is down, relax. Now at some point intuitively, if your body wants to take the arms forward, let's keep the elbows close to the body and then lower the palms down. So maybe they're just outside the thighs. So again, we're not using too much of those upper shoulder muscles to stretch. We could begin to inch the fingers towards the ankles, mindfully checking in to make sure our shoulders are pressing away from the ears so that we truly isolate that stretch along the low back and sides of the spine. Big exhale. It's not wrong to lift your shoulders, but just for today, we're trying to work a little more on traction and taking pressure out of your neck. One more big exhale. Remember your Barbie toes. Feet are active. Keeping the head relaxed, let's inch our fingers back, stacking one vertebra at a time, lengthening through the spine. Let's take our block off to the side, bend the right knee, and maybe angle your body on the mat so that you can comfortably extend that left leg towards the left corner of your mat. Keep the Barbie toe if it's comfortable. If the foot starts to cramp, relax the heel. Let's inhale the arms. Find those warrior one energies, shoulders down, palms up. Big inhale, little rotation at the belly. This is the gentlest rotation. We're not doing this dynamically to stimulate the gut. This is a restorative expression of this pose. When you're ready, exhale, come forward, softly allowing those hands to land outside your leg, dropping the chin to the chest. Press down into your right hip and start to reach forward more with your right hand on the inside of that left leg. So we're working on a big stretch that goes under the right shoulder blade, down to the right hip, and also under the right shoulder blade, diagonal to the back of your left hip. Big exhale. Inhale, maybe let your body float up just an inch or two, and then big exhale again. Practicing that a few more times. Every inhale is an opportunity to lift just a little bit with the breath. Give the belly some room for the lungs to expand. And then exhale, relaxing the jaw, deepening with the contraction of the stomach. To safely come up, we'll slide both hands in towards our body. Let's slowly extend our right leg and bend the left knee. We can reposition the hips so that we're able to keep our extended leg on our mat. It's okay if it goes off the mat. It's just the floor can feel hard on your heel bone. Maybe find that Barbie toe or pull the heel forward toes back. Keep that right knee light. Let's inhale, arms up, shoulders down, fingers up, gentle twist, exhale down. Hands stay close in towards the body, elbows are close in, head is relaxed. This time it's the left hip that we're pinning back. Option to start reaching forward a little more with that left hand. You could even look over to the right or over the right shoulder if it's comfortable. Practice those big exhalations, inhaling with a little rise. Deepen the stretch on the exhale, sinking a little more with that breath. Protecting our spines when we come up. Let's turn our gaze to neutral. Slide the left hand in and slowly push up. Let's bring our left knee up and bend the right knee, scooting off any perch so we can come towards the front of our mat. Maybe having the yoga block close by. We might want to use it under the hips when we go into bridge today. Let's let the knees sway a little bit left and right. Allowing the knees to go to one side. And as we roll over onto one side, lying down on one side. Little fetal invasion. What's going on here? Rolling over onto our backs. Let's draw the knees to the chest so that we're able to position the knees into hips width distance. Go ahead and paddle out the feet, roll out the ankles. Let's place our feet flat on the ground, keeping the knees open at hips width. Having our yoga block close by, we might want to go ahead and bring it into one hand. Let's press down into our feet and lift up into a gentle bridge. From this gentle bridge expression, we can take our block at the lowest level and slide it under the sacrum. If you feel, how do I word this? If you feel a little bit of your buttocks padding hanging off of the block, that's okay. If you feel like you have a lot of the buttocks off of the block, then lift your hips and you want to push that block down towards your heels. Ultimately, what we want is to flatten the sacrum, and we want to move the block completely away from the spine itself. So no pressure on any part of the lower lumbar spine. From where this block is, you can place the hands down flat and lift the heels, pushing off our feet, lifting 1 foot at a time till the knees rise up and the toes hover. We might hold it right here. Another option is to begin straightening the legs. We could always pause with the calves parallel to the floor, or maybe take them up a little higher. Legs might go completely straight. You could hold on to the sides of the thighs or behind your knees. You could bend the knees towards your chest a little bit. And again, the block is only on the sacrum. It's only on that triangle-shaped
bone down towards the buttocks region. Let's pause so that we can again move our ankles around, pointing and flexing the feet, rolling out the ankles, working out any tiny little snap, crackle, pops. Let's take our time to slowly lower one foot down at a time to the floor, finding supported bridge pose. Lifting our hips, we can slide that block away from the low back. Take the hands out beside the body, maybe even out like a T, turning the palms down. This is known as Hasta Bandha, grounding through the hands, the hand lock, connecting to the earth. On the exhale, sway your knees to one direction. Let your body choose. Inhale through center. Exhaling, swaying to the other side. Absolutely no rush with this. The breath is the guide. Only using the mind as a means to observe what's going on with the breath. And then to make that decision, initiating the body's movement, choreographed to the breath. We might notice that it feels good to hold the stretch on one side. We might notice that it feels better to keep moving. At this time, as we're moving into the last 5-6 minutes of class, allow your body to move in any natural way. So it might be that we keep the twist. It might mean that we hold the twist on one side. It could be that we prefer to stretch the legs out. You could even do happy baby pose. That's a really common posture to take at the end of yoga classes. Another really common favorite at the end of yoga is to do butterfly while you're lying down on your back. We can choose to keep moving, or we can choose stillness. Shifting from the physical body to the breath again. Let's think about where it all began today, dissecting the breath into two parts. We were opening the palms of the hands with the shoulders back. We folded the palms of the hands in to touch the belly and the chest. Noticing that intimate connection between the body and the breath. Notice the part of you that is able to notice that connection. Reminding ourselves, I am not my body. I am not my breath. I am not my thoughts, emotions, or my observations. The centuries-old question or introspective opportunity here is, I'm not my breath, I'm not my body, not my mind, emotions, or observations. Who then am I? Don't try to figure that out right now. Just be. Embrace being. In yoga, we are taught we are not any one of these things. Ultimately, the sense of self comes from understanding that self is created by all of these things. Balancing the awareness of the mind, body, spirit, the thoughts, the emotions, the observations, all of this formative to the sense of self or I. When you're ready, deepening the breath, bringing more awareness to the physical form by wiggling our fingers and toes. Allowing that awareness to move up to the elbows and shoulders, up through the knees and hips. Eventually, positioning our bodies so that we can move in some way that wakes up the trunk of the body, more of the hips, more of the chest, and more of the waistline. You might want to bend your knees and sway them, or stretch out like a stick. When you're ready, roll over onto one side, holding in that sideline, sleeping child position for a few breaths. And we don't have to come up to seated in closing yoga class. So check in with your body. If you know this is the first time in a while that there's no pain in your hips, back, neck, shoulder, whatever, maybe just stay here a little longer. Otherwise, let's take our time, coming up to seated, nice and slow. Today, we've been working on balancing chakra 3. In yoga, it's called Manipura, which translates to the place of jewels. I don't know how. I'll have to research it. Let's hook our middle fingers together and lower them down in front of the belly. Imagine these are like links in a chain, applying just a little bit of pressure until we feel that there's some energy migrating up into the shoulders. Keep the belly soft and pull the breath up to your heart. Exhale, relax. Just a couple more chest breaths. We don't want to do it a lot. Sometimes it can affect your shoulders and your necks in an uncomfortable way, but a few times is okay to strengthen the upper back. Inhale, belly in, chest up. And now exhale, breath in the belly. Let's bring our hands together at the heart for closing together. From here, we can all bow,
Namaste. All right, happy Wednesday, everyone. Go have a beautiful day. Manipura.
Thank you.